All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sarah Soon said he kicked back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to the Sarah Soon Seti YouTube page, a dynamic page. Y'all already know what it is. Black Power, Black Frequency. If you're feeling that frequency and energy, you should most definitely join. The link right down in the video description is in the chat. Click it, you'll get a video introduction rundown on the membership, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join, even if you don't. I appreciate your presence here at the Sarah Soon Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. Ring the alarm, kingseti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarah Soon Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house. I got something for your family. I know you're going to like and love. I want you to get on over there, get that discount, shop and save and shop. Pull the fire alarm, generalseti.com. University. We're talking about over 2,500 videos, all the subjects that you know and love from the general. Plus, we got where we at? We got hand-picked documentaries and lectures from the grandmaster teachers, all the ones you know and love, the Dr. Ben, the Dr. Clark, the Walter Williams, and teachers, the greatest African teacher found on the planet that can compare or compete. You should become a member today. Okay, that's right. And to everybody know Seti popping on Patreon, BPC making noise. We never come. Exclusive live stream, too hot to handle on YouTube, but just so exquisite. We keep it for our family on Patreon. And we talking about too raw for YouTube. You feel what I'm saying? We talking about the latest and the greatest. A visually stunning live stream that you cannot see nowhere else. And I ain't got to say no more because y'all already know what that is. Get over there on my Patreon and get that work. Everybody know King Seti is on Rumble. I want you to subscribe today. Don't you dare hesitate. Don't you dare hesitate. All the family out there that donated to the general, I thank you. I appreciate the fact you appreciate me. Any of the family out there would like to donate to the general. The link right there on the video screen, in the chat, in the video description. Click it, donate. I thank you and I appreciate you ahead of time. And make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels. That's right. King Seti, General Seti, Sarah Soon Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass. You be banned. And you ain't, when you get your ass banned, you're not coming. Matter of fact, I ain't put Stockpile on there. Let me get that right. Okay. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to say. Trump praises Putin's military, says Biden has depleted U.S. military stockpile. Okay, now, when I heard that, I said, you know what? As I get on Kamala, I got to get on Donald Trump. Now, he say a couple things, and you say, well, he gonna shut down the fucking the border. That's the only one good thing that the motherfucker didn't say it. You know, all the other shit that he said is terribly concerning. You know, giving the police immunity and his just continuous praise of Vladimir Putin. You know, and listen here, you know, it's just some motherfuckers that just ain't gonna be friends. You see, it's just some motherfuckers that don't mean you got to be staunch enemies. You see, and that don't mean you got to be staunch enemies, but it's just some motherfuckers that ain't gonna be friends. You know, and it shouldn't be, no matter what you say, they're gonna be working to usurp you. No matter what you say. They can be, they can be a friendly trade and, the military alert don't have to be at the highest level, but it's still, you right there at any given time could escalated in seconds because you already been historically, at odds with each other for so long. You see, and so, it's one thing to give a motherfucker respect. Okay, it ain't nothing wrong with, you give but praising Russia's military, you see, you gonna praise their military and say how great their military is and how they, how they, as far as them performing in the winter, that they're great army as far as performance in the winter and this, that, and the third, and said that the Ukraine army is weak and is only propped up, and even if some of it was so, why, and unless it's something that I don't understand. Maybe he's using military strategy, but ain't nobody gonna accept that. Here it is. No matter what, you see, we've been at odds before Ukraine. You see, Russia and Soviet Union been at odds with the United States, and for whatever reason, we don't. It was before us. It don't have nothing to do with us, but we here. And that motherfucker talking about, he could bomb this motherfucker into oblivion. And so at that point, I understand, having the type of relationship where, when you got two nations as powerful as the United States and Russia with all these weapons, that, it should be a relationship where you can keep this shit, we can keep this shit cordial. You see what I'm saying? We ain't got to be each other's cheerleader. We don't have to be each other's cheerleader, but we can keep it cordial enough where, we don't fuck around and set some of these bombs off. That we don't blow the goddamn world up because we so, we are so anti one another that any trip, could cause, a total collapse of civilization and life on the planet as we know it. And so I don't like Donald Trump in the sense that he's always kissed Putin's ass. And that's reality. He's kissing Putin's ass. And it's all right, but in the middle of a war, and you got soldiers on the ground, you got, and you get, and regardless, you got soldiers around the world, in certain areas that, they getting prepared for this shit. You see what I'm saying? And here, and they look at Russia as the enemy, you go to the army and to the Marines and shit and this, that. They don't give a fuck. They preparing for Russia. They preparing for China. And they don't give a fuck about what nobody think about that. And so, I mean, and to have Trump to literally, be praising the Russian army and praising Putin, it's almost on, it's a certain level of treason there for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, can you be trusted? Because I ain't never heard Putin say nothing about, how great the United States military is. I never heard him say nothing like that. Maybe it's out there. Maybe I just don't know about it. But I've never seen Putin fall to that level where he ever gave any sort of praise whatsoever to the United States military under Trump or nobody else. Okay, under Trump or nobody else. And so for him to turn around and give praise, I mean, what do you think that does? Do you think that, people in America agree with you praising? I mean, what do you think you're gonna get out of that? I don't understand that. I don't understand what he thinks he gonna get out of that by praising Vladimir Putin. I just don't understand that. And in a time like this, yeah, it seems somewhat treasonous. You know what I'm saying? And he says that, now if he want to end the war in Ukraine, he can do that. He can do that. You know, he could do that. That's on him. You know, you didn't put all, you know, they didn't put so many billions of dollars in there. Find a way to get that paper back. You know what I'm saying? I feel you on that. You know, feel me on that. You know, find out how you gonna get some of that 200 billion, 400 billion dollars back that they didn't sent over there to just, you know, all of a sudden ended in 400 billion. No, sir. Find out how you can get some of that paper back over here that we didn't already spent over there. You see, say a business move. Well, I don't know what business is he going, you know, what kind of business he going to get out of that. But I mean, he need to do that at another time because he going to get himself out of business. He going to get put out of business because people just don't want to hear you fucking, you know, I mean, it has really nothing to do with you getting elected. You know, your relationship with Vladimir Putin is not what's going to get you elected. Yeah, you worry about that shit later on. And even then, you know, people are uncomfortable with you praising Vladimir Putin. That's just all it is to it. Even if you can keep cordial relationships with Russia and with Putin, that's one thing. But to openly praise this motherfucker and you know, knowing that regardless, motherfucker, Vladimir Putin won't power. Vladimir Putin won't power. He ain't there to be your friend. He's a conniving motherfucker. Anybody that's over there, he didn't. If you threaten his authority, he gonna knock your ass off. You feel what I'm saying? He gonna knock your ass off. And so that right there show you he don't give a goddamn about, you know, you praising and this, he won't power. And so, yeah. And so, you know, I don't know what, you know, if Trump think Putin is naive enough or he think he, or he's just outright kissing his ass. I don't know which one it is, but you know, the way he praises the Russian military and all this. Now he did say that that Biden had depleted the military stockpile. You see, that Biden had depleted the military stockpile, given all the weapons to Ukraine, and that he had stocked up the military, you know, missiles, ammunition, and all that. And he says Putin has diminished and depleted. You see, yeah, Vladimir Putin. Yeah, Putin as Putin. Yeah, has depleted the United States stockpile by giving it all to Ukraine. And I now on that I could believe. On that I could believe. You see what I'm saying? And that's more of a, that right there is more of a talking point that he has depleted. What, you know, minus this, you know, this motherfucking, you know, praise for Putin. You see, now that is some of some great concern. Yeah. You say you doubt he depleted? In a sense, you know what I'm saying? In a sense. Yeah, they still got, you know, they still got you know, certain missiles, and we talking about the shit that you know, that you gonna use in large number, not the exquisite shit. You know what I'm saying? They ain't talking about the exquisite shit, but you talking about the you know, the if you have to go to war and shit, it's gonna be a certain stockpile where when you gotta drop, you know, tons and tons and tons of shit. You see what I'm saying? That, you know, yeah, it can get low if you're dropping. You see what I'm saying? And you got, you know, and sometimes you got to get them you got to get them warehouses, you got to get them factories, you know, cranked up and shit to put that shit out. You see what I'm saying? You got to get them factories up, cranking up to get that shit out. But yeah, yeah, Biden could live and not come. Yeah, exhausting the U.S. We have a great probably never use tanks. Yeah, no, when he say stockpile, he talking about missiles. You see when he talking about bombs. He's not talking about tanks or nothing of that nature. No, he ain't talking about that. He just talking about bombs. You see what I'm saying? The shit that you gonna drop in mass numbers. We're not talking about tanks. We're not talking about ships. He says stockpile. When he say stockpile, he's just talking about the shit that you drop every day. You see what I'm saying? That's what he talking about. You got, the shit that, you going to drop in large numbers. You see what I'm saying? So he not talking to them. They always, but if you got to go to war for an extended length of time, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gonna want to, have your shit stockpile, because they might want to turn up, and if you ain't at war, you ain't just gonna, motherfucking pile and pile and pile, because the shit get old. You feel what I'm saying? You can get some old shit. That shit, you want to keep your shit fairly fresh. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to stock shit up and and shit like that, and shit get old. You say Russia will go nuclear before they lose. Yeah, that's what they say. They ain't go nuclear when Afghanistan kicked their ass. Shit. Yeah. Yeah. They didn't go nuclear when Afghanistan kicked their ass. So shit, they took that L and they rolled their ass back on up over that goddamn mountains and shit and took their ass back to Russia. You see what didn't get blowed up, and you know what I'm saying? They got tanks and all type of trucks and shit still over there. You see what I'm saying? As a reminder that don't bring your ass back over here. You see? And so that's a threat. That's a threat. But they didn't took L's. They didn't took L's now. They didn't took L's just like the United States. Yeah, Black Power family. Yeah. Yeah, they ain't going, they talk that shit. You know what I'm saying? But, they understand that that's just something you can't come back from. Now they'll drop it now, but they're more likely they're gonna drop that shit on somebody. And that's some crazy shit that drop something on a motherfucker. You got to be under threat. If your homeland is under threat and there's no other way, you understand, and they could bring great devastation to your homeland, then you could drop, they could drop it. And that's what they saw when they went to, when they came to, when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor and shit, they fucked them up over there. They did. They called them sleeping. And they sunk a lot of their shit and they killed a lot of soldiers. You see what I'm saying? And the threat of them coming back was really what drew them to, go on and drop that motherfucker. Because Japan was trying to go for the throat. They wasn't they wasn't about to lay down. They actually thought that they could take the United States. You feel me? They thought that they could really take the United States. And because, they were so successful in bombing Pearl Harbor, they feared that they was going to bomb the mainland United States. Yeah, they still affected. Yeah, hell yeah, Hiroshima. Yeah, they still affected. They done built up great cities around over there. Nagasaki and Hiroshima, they done built up great cities around that shit. But yeah, I mean, goddamn, just to know that the motherfucker had been bombed and shit, and people have to live with a legacy like that and know as how many people died in there. That alone, that's just almost like understanding you done built on top of a cemetery. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine somebody told you, you know what I'm saying, that this city was built on top of a cemetery of 200,000 people that had died from Black Death or something and shit. And you say, what? You live, you know what I'm saying? That was, just the psychological shit of that is like devastating. Like, damn, and motherfuckers was, it's almost turned into pillars of goddamn, you know what I'm saying, of ash. You see what I'm saying? Pillars of ash and shit. Motherfuckers look like you, remind you of goddamn Vesuvius and shit. And Herculaneum, where the goddamn volcano came down on their ass and 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 the ash burnt them and melted their ass in right where they stood or slept or whatever position they was in. That goddamn ash came down on them and froze them in time. And so that's really what they living with, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they living. And I'm quite sure there's people that still alive from that time. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think, the children, even then, they probably still, would be in their 60s and 70s or probably a little older than that. Probably a little older than that. Let me see. Okay, let me see. How old would they be? Okay, 1945. Okay. So you talking about 55. Yeah, some about 80. Well, no. If you young, you about 80. If you was young, the youngest that lived through it, they probably being close to, upper 70s, 80s. You see, you put 50, 20, 70, 79. And so, yeah, some of them, they probably in their, early 80s and, but they had to been children at that time. You feel what I'm saying? They probably had to be late 70s. You know what I'm saying? Late 70s. If you was just a baby or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Say 90 if they were 5. Okay, 90 if they were wow. Yeah, so it probably a few still alive from that. And I'm quite sure they could tell you, yeah, yeah. Neighbors 88. Wow. Yeah. But yeah, family, this motherfucker Trump, man, he's very questionable with the praise of Putin and the Russian military. I just can't get with that, and so that's just a flaw for him, man. That's a flaw for him, and I think people going, I don't know what he's thinking with that, and I believe that that's gonna hurt him. Saying Biden depleted the military stockpile, that's one thing, but to say that and you giving praise to Putin in the Russian military, that's some bullshit to me. So family, we'll see what the you know, what'll happen, what will be the response and how people will feel about that. We'll see the backlash of his remarks. We'll see what the backlash of his remarks will be. He says, what's happening? Say, I remember from the yeah, I'm definitely subscribed. That's right, family. Stay with me. We setting fire to this motherfucker. You didn't found fire, brother. You didn't found fire, and so stay with me. And we live every day, and we still bringing that smoke. This is General Sarasun said. He said, "Hey, arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast. Daily liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power."